my old school, I was not very, how would you put it? I didn't really fit in with the kids or the teachers. They didn't really get me.
I do encounter people who I cannot communicate very well with because people don't always really understand what I'm saying. The knowledge that I had always sort of assumed, that I'm going to be kind of the kid who sort of sits in the corner and reads while everyone else is sort of playing sports and whatever, and that was sort of the narrative throughout middle school.
Sometimes my friends think I'm weird because I love homework. Things
just don't always work out very well with normal people.
UNOSA and the Academy were really the first places where I met people who I connected with on a social level, who I could talk with without them looking at me baffled, without them thinking I was odd for talking about science and math rather than gossiping about celebrities.
It truly is sort of, you realize for the first time, wow, I'm not the only one. And it's pretty incredible to sort of have gone into high school and to life beyond that with that knowledge.
I'm Betsy Jones, and I'm president of the Institute for Educational Advancement, and we're a nonprofit organization that is dedicated to serving the needs of gifted and highly gifted children, not only intellectually, but in all aspects of self, mind, body, spirit, social, emotional needs. Because kids are more than just their mind, and they're gifted 24/7, so their needs are just expansive.
We provide services for gifted students and their families. One of the great things about our programs is kids can just be kids.
You see the kids kind of having this asynchronous development as opposed to normal, what we would call normal development. They're at 6 or 7 years old and they're doing 5th, 6th grade math, and on the other hand, their social, emotional development is not being given the same level of attentiveness.
Because if you're a really bright kid and you start kindergarten, and you already know how to read, and you already know how to do all your math, and you're around other kids who don't understand you because your vocabulary is so much more extensive, you don't know how to make a friend because no one wants to talk to you. So these kids from the beginning of time have trouble being social because everything you're supposed to learn in kindergarten, they can't. So what we try to do is fill the gaps in and help them find other peers that are like themselves so they can learn those social cues that we all had the benefit of learning in kindergarten.
I found it difficult to accept who I was as a child. I didn't think that I was okay because of the way other kids treated me. And so I took the way other children treated me and I internalized it and used their treatment of me as a way to gauge how I felt about myself.
A family of a very gifted child came to us, frustrated, at wit's end, not knowing what to do. Their child was so sad, came home from school crying daily. I'm so lonely because no one wants to play science with me. The child is 3. Preschool is not going to serve that child. Kindergarten isn't going to serve that child. We can serve that child.
I like the Academy because the learning is fun.
The Academy's main purpose is to provide enrichment classes for K through 8th graders.
An example is we have a class where 2nd graders would be learning calculus. And the way the 2nd graders would learn calculus is by building a rocket.
This class is my astronomy class, which we run during the summer and during the year, and the purpose is to teach the students all about the universe, all there is to know about the life outside of our own planet. Kids vary from about typically 8 to 12, all mixed together in one class. Some of them could be as young as 7 and have a lot more knowledge than the kids that are older. So it's really a level playing field.
Last session I did astronomy, geology, and chemistry lab. This session I'm doing jazz.
We've had chemistry, we've had organic chemistry, we've had chemistry labs.
Shakespeare, physics,
biochemistry, molecular biology,
math, Spanish,
history of jazz and jazz culture in Los Angeles.
Microscopy, that's it.
A game theory kind of class, and then a forensic science kind of class, which I loved. I found them both so fun. Like one of them I was learning about how to play games more effectively, and the other I was learning about how to solve murders more effectively.
So there's a huge breadth of different kinds of classes that are distinct disciplines but also interdisciplinary.
For our son, it was like literally a launching point for him. He had always been interested in rocketry, in outer space, but that's not exactly the type of class they offer in elementary school. Since our son took that class, he has been on a mission to learn calculus, and it really fired up his interest in mathematics. He skipped right out of like pre-algebra and algebra without, I don't think he ever took like specifically an algebra class, but he just was so interested in learning the material that it sparked that in him.
The children come to us because they're deeply curious and very thirsty, hungry for more, and they want to get the chance to explore that content at a very deep level.
Gifted children learn best from content area specialists. Our academy teachers come from amazing backgrounds. They're all experts in their fields. They come from sciences, from the arts, from humanities, and they're engaged in their subject and content area. We ensure that children have the opportunity to learn from individuals who are passionate and compassionate about their subject and content. And it keeps them engaged and serves all aspects of who they are.
My class at school is 22 and it's going to be 24, so I'll get less attention even then.
One thing that's unique about academy classes is that we firmly believe in having very small class sizes, so our student to teacher ratio is purposely kept small.
It's not like waiting for 24 kids to look in the microscope.
Our son was taking a class in organic chemistry and he had maybe 6 kids, and his professor went to Caltech and has a PhD. I was like, even when you go to college, you're never going to be in a class like this. When I took organic chemistry, I had 90 kids in my class. I never could just raise my hand and ask a question. I said, what you have here is amazing. This is amazing. And you'll look back and be like, how the heck, when I was that young, did I have access to something that good?
We all kind of make friends with each other. I think I'm friends with everybody, and I have helped pretty much everybody.
I guess it was when we were kind of just having fun the whole time.
I like it way better than school.
Middle school was not the greatest. I went to public school, and not everyone was really motivated to do well. So there were a few people that tried to do well and to pay attention in class, but most of the other people didn't. When I heard about CDB and the opportunity to go to a private high school with a much higher achieving peer group, I was really interested.
The Carolyn D. Bradley Scholarship Program is an amazing opportunity for gifted young people in our country.
This is a program that recognizes gifted middle school students, and we pay for them to go to high school all over the country. It's an amazing program because it's the only purely merit-based need-blind high school scholarship in the country.
A Caroline D. Bradley Scholar is really dedicated to the life of the mind, you could say. Really interested in ideas and sharing those ideas.
I knew that I liked STEM fields. I love writing, but for me, definitely I want to make my concentration for college and high school in computer science. I've been coding since I was in the 3rd grade.
Well, we're selected in middle school to be part of this kind of journey through high school. It's a really vibrant community of interested and interesting people.
Well, I'm in my school's first robotics team, and I've also gone to the Robo Games that are in the Bay Area, and I've done sumo robots.
As a junior, I took genetics and I took infectious diseases. Joyce and Wolfe, Faulkner, American Romanticism. I got to take so many great classes as a junior and a senior that I just loved that.
I'm the founder and leader of the beekeeping club at my school. After this, I'm gonna head down there and check on the bees.
What we do with these young people now is we take the time to understand who they are, and we match them with the most appropriate educational environment for them. And when they're in that environment, these young people blossom and they grow.
Everyone has different academic goals and passions, so the money goes towards whatever is the best educational program for each scholar. It could be day school, boarding, charter, parochial, homeschool, or hybrid.
Taking you out of this this Catholic school and putting you in this private school, which was very intense. I'd like to say it was harder than my college years and maybe even my master's program. But it pushed me to realize that I can do that. I can do whatever I want if I put my mind to it.
It isn't a program where we hand a family a check and say, good luck to you, have a great high school. We work hand in hand with these families because for many of them, this is like winning the golden ticket. They never realized they would have this opportunity. So I have an amazing staff. We're very research oriented and we find out what those opportunities are and we match them.
It's not just about like the money that they give you and the fact that they allow you to go to a school you never would have dreamed about going to, but it's also about the fact that they provide you with so many more opportunities. Even the apprenticeship I'm doing, I didn't even know that internships or apprenticeships existed. There's not these opportunities that I could find without IEA and without CDB, and for that I'm very grateful.
It's a lot more fun to live your life when you're interested in things and not trying to just push through them so you can get to the next stage.
The Institute for Educational Advancement is housed in what is now called the Barter House. The Barter House is named after Sarah Barter, who felt so strongly about the needs of gifted children that she endowed a scholarship that can support up to 30 students a year in high schools all over the country. Sarah Barter named the scholarship after her aunt, Carolyn D. Bradley, who had a profound impact on her educational experience.
Every year we have an annual seminar where we bring our entire community together for 3 days and we invite all of our high schoolers, parents, our alumni, educators, and it's a gathering.
It's an opportunity to interact with other kids who have also been chosen and to have dialogue about these really intellectual topics.
They have all of the scholars meet up and attend keynotes and generally socialize and see the sights of the city, and it's a really interesting environment. Honestly, the kind of people that you meet at the seminar are completely different from a group that I would have met anywhere else in the world.
I remember going my first year and I was incredibly impressed with all of them. They all seemed very smart. They were all like, they just were all around impressive.
There are people there who have won robotics competitions. There are people there who have funded startups. And these are just high school kids. So the kind of people that you meet there are just incredible.
Everybody here is gifted. Some people are highly gifted, profoundly gifted. We're all intense. We all have been told in all different kinds of ways our whole life, you're too much. You're too intense, you know. Like you ask too many questions, you're too sensitive, you cry too much, you worry too much, you care too much.
Take it down a notch. Like you're a little too excited, you're a little too loud, you're a little too intense, you're standing a little too close, you're talking a little too fast. All those things, like kids that constantly feel like they are moving at a faster pace than the rest of the people around them, or ones that maybe feel like the way they see the world is not the way everyone else sees it.
And so we decided let's focus on all of who we are. Let's really focus on being imbalanced as people to really get to well-being, to live a life of well-being, no matter what our age is.
What would we want to do for gifted kids that instead of only supporting their intellect might also support the rest of who they are, including their spirit?
Yanasa is the Lakota Sioux term for balance. So the balance that we talk about is all of who you are. So the mind, the heart, the body, the spirit, and the social self. And that's why we focus on that every single day.
I've never done this before, so I'm a teensy bit nervous, but I'm excited to do this. I've been to several camps that either develop just the mind and we're just stuck in a classroom, or it's just like physical education where you're just like running around, but this is like, it gets into your spirit, you have like teamwork, but it's like physically taxing, and it's just amazing like how UNAS is able to integrate all 5 of the domains and helps you strengthen each one.
The idea of balancing the whole person is really IEA's whole goal. They focus on nurturing gifted kids who have been misguided into overdeveloping one aspect of themselves or are not getting challenged in any areas and aren't being challenged intellectually, aren't being nurtured emotionally, don't feel compelled to engage physically. That's what IEA does. And at UNASA, the campers will go from rock climbing to 10 minutes later sharing their emotions, sharing how they feel about meditation exercise that they've done. Throughout the whole process, making these intense emotional bonds.
Well, UNASA means balance, right? So I love everything that we do here because it just balances a healthy lifestyle. But mainly the people here are just so kind and caring and accepting of everyone, and they just really help you get along with everyone and have the best time you possibly can.
The mission of UNASA is to create conditions at the camp for personal growth that is balanced between the physical, emotional, social, intellectual, and spiritual aspects of the self.
Stand with your weight, even the balance over your feet, so you have to stand up.
What we do is called psychosynthesis, which was evolved as a response to psychoanalysis. With some of the kids, give them very profound experiences.
The psychosynthesis uses your imagination, the ability to perceive things that aren't right in front of you, mostly done with their eyes closed, and they discover what power they have in their imaginations and what that can do for their lives. And so it's not just exercising, and yet they go together.
Every day we do exercises where we close our eyes and do meditation exercises. I think they're very fun, and I love them because you can meditate in different areas like the beach or any place, and I really enjoy them and I connect with them very well.
Yeah, like at normal school, we never do anything spiritual. It's all just, oh, do this work at normal school. But here at UNASA, it's more relaxed, and we focus on a broad spectrum of things that we can improve on to make ourselves more of a whole person.
My first year, I remember coming, I didn't really realize I changed because it was over a week and it was very gradual. But when I came back, my parents were like, "You're so different, you're more grown up." I was more responsible, and it was really good for me, and it's a group environment, so everybody helps you, and we're a family, and family helps each other.
Gifted children have a tough time feeling that they're okay the way they are. They feel ashamed. They feel bad about asking so many questions and being bright and curious and wanting to know more. They often feel that they're different. And at UNASA, he didn't feel different.
UNASA is a place of solace for a lot of these kids who feel bullied often and who feel like they can't have interesting or intellectual or insightful conversations with other kids their age. Here they're able to do that. Here at UNASA is rife with compassion. It's a very accepting group.
To see Alexander when he came back from UNASA was so heartwarming as a mother. I felt like we found the Alexander that had been lost.
We have families come to us that are at wit's end. They are tired, they're sad, their children are depressed and not motivated. But they come to IEA and they come to our classes, they come to our programs, and they see hope.
Humanity has all sorts of differences. These kids have a place here. And right now, our culture doesn't offer them much of a place.
When we provide that fuel to the intellect, it actually provides strength for all aspects of self. The mind is strengthened, the body is strengthened, the social emotional needs are strengthened. Those kids come to us sad, and they leave happy.
These kids are relatively rare, and we need them. We need them to be whole. We don't need them to be squashed into little tiny boxes.
By pretty much any standard that you'd want to name, it's had a pretty amazing effect. So thank you, and it's pretty great that there are people sort of making this much of a tangible difference.
This program has just let me see the whole world out there, that not everything is just the same drudgery, and there's a lot more out there than just doing busy work and stuff that you already know, and just all the people who are like me.
There are other people out there who have the same problems, who have the same thoughts and ideas, and it makes you feel more, it makes you feel more connected to everyone rather than just feeling separated.
I'd just like to thank everyone so much. I would be a completely different person if I hadn't gotten them. It's influenced everything from 7th grade until now.
I felt that the scholarship was always there for me, and I felt like it was always a backbone and just a support system for me whenever I needed it, and that has just helped me out tremendously, and I owe it a great deal of gratitude.
Thank you so much, IEA, Bonnie and Elizabeth and Brianna and everyone, for not only the chance to go to a great high school, but also for the support and kindness which you've offered me at every turn.
UNOS has helped me grow a lot, and I'm very thankful that IEA came up with it.
I've gotten so much out of it, and I hope I've put something in, at least a little bit.